This is just a brief slide on mistakes. You will make lots of them. This is okay. I know that some people are a bit intimidated about getting into open source software development because they think, as I thought when I started out doing open source stuff 5 years ago, oh my goodness, everybody on the entire internet can see every mistake I make. This mailing list goes to thousands of people. And then if someone searches Google, they can find that time that I said the wrong thing. And my code is going to be out there and everyone's going to be able to look at it and they're going to find all these bugs in it and it's going to be really embarrassing. The great thing about open source is those mistakes are out there, they're public, and they're there so that people can help you correct your work and get better at it. One of the nice things about criticism in the open source world is it's actually a mark of respect. If someone takes the time to give you feedback, even if that's critical feedback, to tell you how to improve, it's because they respect you, value you as a potential contributor, and expect that you can bring more to their project. You will make lots of mistakes, just don't make the same one over and over again. A few closing thoughts, and I wanted to leave plenty of time for questions at the end because I assume that since there are students in the room, they might want to get a sense for some of the programs I may have discussed. The reason that I personally am excited about free and open source software is the whole saving the world thing. I'm not a programmer. Programming is not what makes me excited and gets me out of bed in the morning. What really gets me out of bed in the morning is helping other people be successful and achieve their goals. And there are a ton of open source projects out there where if you don't necessarily feel super motivated by compilers or content management systems or machine translation or whatever, they're actually doing positive things for the social benefit. This is everything from disaster relief organizations like Sahana or Ushahidi to folks focusing on social justice like the Sunlight Foundation to the greatly used amount of software that's out there for nonprofits, such as the Civi CRM project, which is open source donor management software. Many nonprofits rely on this to be able to fundraise for their missions. And then if you consider that most nonprofits, surprise, surprise, have very, very small IT and software budgets, not having to pay licensing costs is essential for them. So nonprofits are huge consumers of open source software. So if there's a nonprofit that you really care about and you'd like to help them, volunteer to help them out with their open source software. Maybe they need help learning how to use it. Maybe they need help configuring something. And it's a great way for you to learn as well. The real point is to have fun and learn something. Getting an awesome job, helping others, that's a great result. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
How do you apply for the Google Summer of Code 2011? Do you know the website?
So the question is, how do you apply for Google Summer of Code 2011? So the URL that you want to visit is code.google.com/SOC. It's like sock, but with no K on the end. And that will provide you with links to the frequently asked questions, a list of all the participating organizations, their application templates, details about what they're looking for in prospective students. All of the data that you need will be linked from there.
Could you repeat that?
Sure. code.google.com/SOC, which is like sock, but with no K on the end. S like summer, O like of, C like code. There must be more questions. I have stickers for questions. Yes, very good.
What about the Google Code-in for like 15-year-olds and stuff? Website.
For the younger
Very good. So the website for Google Code-in is, you're going to love this, very easy to remember, code.google.com/GCI, like Google Code-in. I don't have any intelligence one way or the other about whether or not Google plans to make that an annual offering. It was 2 years in between the first high school program and then the Google Code-in program that was in 2011. I suspect, based on no evidence whatsoever, that it's something they're going to keep going. Can't really say that since I no longer work there, but code.google.com/GCI. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know the registration for the Google Summer of Code 2011 is March 28th. Is the deadline the 8th? I wasn't sure about what date was the deadline. Was it the 8th?
Yes, so the deadline for student applications for Google Summer of Code is April the 8th. They do open up on March 28th. And like I said before, I would really highly encourage folks, if this is something that you're interested in, please go take a look now, because you've got about 6 days to get the lay of the land, find out what projects are participating, find out what they're looking for in a student applicant, and start talking to those projects now about your ideas, before applying, because again, open source projects almost universally state some of the first applications they get are among the best ones they get, so apply early, apply often. Yes, sir?
You mentioned Linux user groups in the area. We have a Columbia Linux user group. There's an upstate Carolina Linux user group. Jeremy's over here. And Charleston has a Linux user group also. And Colalug has a website, it's colalug.org, and it's got a booth outside here.
Fantastic. I want to know who came up with the name Colalug, because that is the coolest thing I ever heard. I was researching local user groups last night so I could figure out who I could like kind of put in my slides, and I'm like, all right, there's a few. I'll wait for someone in the audience to mention something.
It's Cola is short for Columbia.
It's not some kind of cool reference to like Coca-Cola is made near here and we're awesome and we love our caffeine. No, I'm aware. That's near, isn't it? Relative to Portland, it's very close by. I'm going to drink my Diet Coke now, not that I'm espousing use of any particular product to get you caffeine. Sundrop? Okay. How caffeinated is it?
Very.
Excellent.
I have a problem, I can't find lime Diet Coke around here anywhere.
I think they discontinued the Lime Diet Coke. However, let's focus on open source software for just another minute.
Lime Diet Coke in my body.
Yes, sir?
So you mentioned that
Oh,
Summer
oh,
Code was founded to alleviate problems that Google was experiencing with new hires.
Mm-hmm.
How successful was it?
So the question is, given that Google Summer of Code, the idea behind it was to alleviate the difficulties that Google was finding with its new hires in terms of being familiar with the tool chain and just generally how to do software development outside of the classroom. And the question is, how successful was it? I am going to say two things. One, I don't necessarily know that the accurate representation is that it was founded to solve Google's problems. This was a problem that Google had that was industry-wide. How successful has it been? I'd say it's been incredibly successful. I don't necessarily have hard data on it, but I will say that the number of students that I have heard from over the past couple of years, and that's like 2,500 people, and I've heard from a substantial number of them, telling me that their Summer of Code experience was viewed as the hallmark of a great prospective employee when they went to go get internships and to find jobs in industry, tells me that employers find these people to be well-trained and great prospective hires. Yes, sir?
Not really a question, but a comment. Could you take that speech and give it to the people at the ideology booth and connect them with whoever is the new summer folk person? Because the ideology, which is the sponsor of the conference, is trying to do that in this area.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to make sure that you guys all hook up together.
The question is, can we discuss the Google Summer of Code concept with the ITology folks who are generous enough to sponsor Posscon and to hook them up with the new Google Summer of Code program manager? And the answer is yes, absolutely.
Fast but good answers.
I try. Anything else, my friends? Thank you all for coming.
Very much.